dream journal. Yeah, probably should have done one multiple times this week, and I just didn't. I did instead when I woke up. I just recorded me blurbing whatever I remembered about the dream. One of them I didn't remember at all because I just listened to like the blurbs of what I was saying. Two of them I do remember, and then I think this morning's one or yesterday's one I didn't remember all, but there were parts that I didn't remember. Like on Saturday, I met with this person that I hadn't seen in a while, with another bunch of group of people, and I was like, oh, they were in a dream, and apparently, I think on the same day I saw them in the dream, they had a night terror, which makes me feel bad because in the dream I do remember not being able to get in contact with them, and I kind of feel shit because it's like if I had gotten in contact with them, maybe it wouldn't have happened, and that's kind of weird and spooky, and I'm like, next time I see them in the dream, I'm definitely going to try and comfort them. I'm going to do that. Fuck. I feel really bad because that person only gets night terrors any time they try and go to a Christian event, which is not good. So yeah, that was a thing that happened. But anyway, like the first dream was, it was a weird one. It was like, it started off, I was in a warehouse and I was doing stuff, and it was like there's 4 chunks to the warehouse and I was working a certain part, and I think I started off shopping, but then I ended up working for them, and then I was on break, but I was also on break and stuff, and it was weird. And then the things in some of the operations of like how breaks and stuff worked were the same as how it works at KFC, except there wasn't any of the clock in, clock out stuff, which was kind of weird. I do work at KFC. I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Anyway, so wherever my job is, that, and also then it quickly transferred into like me working the drive-through at the place that I work. Except someone ordered a wrap with potato pasta in it, raw pasta. And I'm like, I can't, I don't know what button it is, because apparently it was on there and I could order it. And the person was insisting it, the person was very Karen. It was like, this is there. And I'm like, I didn't know how. And then I asked people to help me try and put the order through. But that person had dried off and they didn't get this. They didn't get it. And I don't know. It was just a weird dream. It might be for someone else. That's why I'm kind of doing this. If any of these dreams are for you, please speak up if you can or able or want to. But yeah, that was a weird thing. And I don't know what the meaning of any of these are. I'm just describing what happens in them. Also, the weirdest part of that is I think it's a dream I've had before. And I definitely did run around trying to get someone a thing that didn't exist on the menu. And no one knew how to get it on the menu. So yeah, that's a thing. I definitely had more dreams than I've ever had before, I'm pretty sure. Because yeah, there were a lot this week. Then the next dream was, I don't remember. The dream after that, no, I just did this, I can't remember. Like I literally just went through the list of them. Yep.
I was at this place. I was kind of working with this person as a head person.
Oh, right, now I remember, yes. It was, it's also a dream that I've had before. Basically, there's this weird hotel on the edge of a lake. I can't quite describe the lake to you, but I know what the lake vaguely looks like. There's these buildings on the side of the lake, and it's also almost like a river. And some of the buildings are fronts, and this is a place that I come back to in my dream a lot. Like, there are places in my dreams. I didn't just follow like the center of that bank, we were on like this bank, and there was this big hotel, and I was kind of in charge of the hotel, and there was this group staying here who were also employees for a company, and I kind of overheard something, and I was like, oh, that's sus. I don't like this boss. They're probably not a good boss. Like, let's see if we can change them. And then I found out, I walked in on the employees, and I realized that they were trying to overthrow the boss, and I was like, haha, yes, we are on your side. Let's do this, because the boss was horrible, and I was like, let's change this up. And then suddenly I was in charge of the rowing for Somerville House. And I think in the past, I predicted someone's going to come in and give me a thing of like why they should be in the first date, because they weren't already in the first date for some stupid reason. This person did end up being on the first date, by the way. They were originally signed to the second date, but they ended up getting moved up in actual real life. But now the dream changed to someone give me a plan for why they should be in the second date. And the people in the second hand and everything were boys. Like, I go to an all-girls school. Someone has an all-girls school, and that was going on, and also it was no longer rowing the boat. The style of boat and how the boat worked was one very old style boats, and also, like, I think more in dragon boating is a thing. Basically, it was those style seats instead of actual rowing seats, which just made things more confusing. And also, the people in the boat I vaguely recognized from Ted Lasso, and that these dreams are also, like, I'm starting to suspect that these dreams aren't actual dreams, which is also makes sense because I can't tell whether dreams are dreams or not. Which is the devil doing this. Fuck you, because I want to be able to do good in the world. And this is a way maybe I can do good in the world with dreams that can predict the future, or maybe it doesn't make sense. But like, there may be sports stars, but they're also called Mumbo Jumbo. And apparently I was concerned about Mumbo Jumbo's safety, because he could throw out his back. But I was like, it doesn't matter. And this is actually a true fact. Boys, especially in high school, rowing, don't row properly. They row with their back. You're not supposed to. It rows with your legs. You row with your legs. And then I was trying to tell the person, convince the person, and I was like, yeah, I've done... It's like, the reason I'm head coach at 18, because I was definitely a young person there. I was, like, weirdly gone back in time. Like, I shouldn't have been in my position, but I was. Was because I'd actually done coxing for several years. Like, this wasn't a bizarre thing. But also at the same time, I don't think I'd gone back in time. But I could have clearly gone back in time because I was predicting that person would walk in. Or maybe I was just thinking of another thing. I don't know. I also know these things. Maybe this is a thing that will be future and I'll end up going back to rowing. I don't want ever to... Oh my goodness, I could end up teaching rowing in a different school. Okay, so anyway, because that would actually be an interesting thing that I would want to do. But anyway, yeah, like, don't want to use your back, you want to use your legs when rowing. And I was basically like, if he'll be fine. If he does it correctly, he'll be fine. I don't care. If he wants to row incorrectly and hurt himself, it's fine. If he rows correctly, he'll be fine. Like, it's his decision. I'm not babying him by making him pull out just because I don't think he'll actually row properly. Which is weird. But also, like, maybe the names are just meaningless and the people that actually there are more meaningful. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing for someone else. It's like, haha, maybe you should just let them go. Maybe that's the message. Just let it go. Like, you've given them all they have, and maybe you should just let them go. I don't know who these are messages for, but that's either things. And then there was this morning's one, which I don't remember except the last line, which was someone saying, and I'm pretty sure it was me, that I know God's plan. But the immediate response was, that's impossible, and also it doesn't matter. And that's something I've definitely been dealing with, because I have these memories of what could be possibly the future, and I've also, even this week, I've noticed things of like, that's from the future, these are things from the future that I've already seen, and it's not like they affect anything. It's not like me knowing this does anything. Just because I know everything doesn't mean I'm suddenly a player on the table, it just means I know shit. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's wrong, and it's weird, and I'm an elder in the church, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm an elder in the church. I'm not formally, and it's not like I'm formally an elder, like, there's a council of elders that they that they elect. I'm not part of that, but I am an old person in the church. I have wisdom well beyond my years. I have wisdom. I know this. I have deep thoughts on Christianity. I have trouble reading my Bible, but I probably know more about what is supposed to be in the Bible than anyone else, just purely on wisdom from God and knowledge from God. And that's a beautiful thing, but I have no idea how the hell to share that with people. Not the least because for most of my life, when I've tried sharing it, people haven't believed me. So now I don't know how to speak up, and I don't have the confidence to speak up, and I'm trying to use this as a platform to grow my confidence and share what I know of the Lord with people, because I know I have wisdom. I know it deep in my soul. I know I'm an old soul. I know, and other people know that because they forget how old I am, and I forget how old I am because I forget that I'm young. I forget sometimes that I'm only 20. And there's other times where I feel like I haven't done enough as a 20-year-old because I should have done so much more because I should be so much older. I had what is effectively a midlife crisis at fucking 19 and 18, and I understand happiness and joy and love on a deeper level than most people in their 30s. There was this thing that Mum sent me that perfectly encapsulates what I think about happiness. It's like happiness without purpose, it doesn't matter how happy you are, you will get burned out. Happiness with purpose will not burn you out. And that's kind of how I feel about things. Teaching, I don't think will burn me out. The teaching is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm so excited for it. But I also was really, and I'm but I'm sensitive about it because I'm also really excited about coding and hacking and stuff, and I really found a lot of fun from it. There was no purpose in that. It didn't feel purposeful. It didn't feel like I was doing good in the world. There was no joy from that. Joy is something that feeds your soul. Joy and happiness are equated in our society, but they're not the same thing. Joy is something that feeds your soul. Happiness is a state of being. And sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. And I don't know anything. I don't know how to properly communicate, but I've also had people tell me I'm a wonderful communicator. I don't know how to study things, yet people have told me I've studied more than anyone in the world. Most of the people have told me that are not new to church, and I believe there are people in church who look up to me but will not say it because they don't know how to say it because it seems obvious. And I know that because, and maybe that's just a common thing about me, because once in soccer, I finally got man of the match because, and they're like, oh, we want to give you the second time. And I remember the coach saying, I remember the coach kind of saying, because I was listening and I was something I shouldn't have, but I always do. And basically the coach was like, I really want to give it to Rachel, even though the rest of the, even though we haven't gone through the list of players yet, but this was like a really good game. I'm like, I haven't given it to Rachel yet. And it's like, wait, I haven't? But like, she could have gone it many other games. And it's like, no, because you think you've already given it to her. Because single game you do is worthy of man of the match. You had to have given it at some point, but it's like, no, you haven't, because she's always worthy. And it's like, this one was an extra special one, not because of anything I did that match, but because what the other team was doing. And the way one of the members of the other team acted, I literally terrified a person 2 times my size because that's what I was. I was on him every single step of the way. He was their star player. We could tell by the way things were going, but I was on him. He did not get the ball the entire game. The way he was acting at the start of the game, it was clear he was probably their star player. It makes sense. He was also the tallest on that team. And this is children's football. Like, this is children's soccer. Like, size matters, except when you're me, who's like, I say half. I was he was easily 3 times my size, and I terrified the fuck out of him because I was just on him. I was 1 step behind him. I didn't go before him because that would be breaking things. But I was just always 1 step behind him, behind him until we got to the line, and then because I couldn't cross the line, well, technically I think I could have crossed the line, but it was like kind of a thing of like, let's not cross the line. I'm no bender. Let's make him on the line. But even then, I'd be tracking where he was on the other side of the field. I terrified his socks off. It was brilliant. But it's like, I'm an intimidating person. But I'm not an intimidating person, but I do my best all the time. And people don't notice because they think everyone else is already complimented. I think that's a thing. People say, like, if you're actually pretty, people won't tell you you're pretty. And it's like, I think that's a true thing. Because people will think everyone tells you that. And I do things and people forget about it. Or at least I hope that's what's happening, because otherwise I don't know. But at the same time, but it's always been a hurtful thing for me, and as I'm growing older, I'm getting better at ignoring everything that people are saying, and it doesn't matter. It won't matter, and all that matters is God. But that's a hard thing to learn, but it's a thing I'm learning. And it's also not a thing people or Christians focus on until they're way further in their journey. Like, well, no, actually, at this point in their journey, that's when they start focusing on it. But that normally doesn't happen until they're older. And I think that's the scariest thing. Because people forget my age, and whenever I remind them or they're reminded of it, then they immediately discount my voice. Because as much as there are things in Christianity that say it doesn't matter how old you are, you've got the power of God in you, and that's all that matters, people still judge on age. The old people have wisdom, even though that isn't necessarily true. Young people need to learn from the elders, even though that isn't necessarily true. I will listen to you and I will take your opinions in, but that does not mean you get to disrespect me or discount my opinions. Because just because I'm younger than you does not mean I do not know better than you. Treat me with respect. I will always treat you with respect. Not because you deserve respect, but because I give respect freely to all people. Anyway, bye!